It's hard to get the feeling that the coming Yomim Noraim represent to all of us. We all want to do teshuvah. Everybody in the world. There isn't anyone who does not feel, I want to become better. I want to become stronger. I want to do more mitzvot. There are certain averot, certain bad things I want to stay away from. There is not a Jew in the entire world that does not want to become better. The only thing is, we have to know, how do we achieve it? I said last year I want to be better. Was I that much better? I don't know. I said the year before I want to be better. Am I better than 2 years ago? I don't know. I hope I didn't slip. So how is it that I motivate myself to become better? How is it that I understand that I want to pray better, I want to daven better, I want to learn better, I want to do a better chesed, I want to listen el divrei chachamim, I want to listen to the great tzaddikim better and follow their words? How do I do it? That is what basically I believe Rosh Hashanah is all about in Yom Kippur. It's about the motivation of myself being able, all of us individually, being able to do teshuvah. So how do we do it? How do I make sure that this year is different? That this is the year that's going to make the difference, that I'm going to be zocheh for everything good, and I can actually become different. Not the same like it is every year. It's an interesting thing. Chacham Ovadia, Zeichet Tzadik Livracha, Zechuta Yagen Aleinu. His chut should be making all over us, all the whole world. So he said an interesting thing. There was a man, he was going together with another fellow, and he was traveling between towns. He was on the road, and it started raining and hailing, and it was cold, and they were afraid they wouldn't make it through the night. Maybe it's going to be the elements are too strong. They will perish. They'll die. All of a sudden, a carriage comes along. Carriage. A man on the top of the carriage with a big hood on. And underneath is a compartment where you can stay. He pulls to the side of the road and he says to them, Chaverim, would you like to come on the carriage? It's a bad night, raining and pouring. Are you kidding? This is like a matana that came from heaven. Hashem just sent us this. Of course we want to go in. So they go inside, they open the door, they go in the carriage. One sits down on one side of a little bench, and the other sits down on the other side. Not bad. No rain, no hail, no wind. They're inside, nice, cozy, and warm. All of a sudden, the man taps his leg. There's something in the middle where they're sitting. They look down, little bit of light comes in through the window, and they see it's Aron. It's a place for a mace with an Aron, a coffin. Already, it wasn't the same trip anymore. They're there together with the Aron, Meitim, sitting there. Okay, but still, they don't have to have the rain. They don't have to have the wind. They don't have the hail. It's still dry. Everything is good. They're sitting there. Everything's going along good. All of a sudden, they see that the met, the niftar, begins moving. He's moving around. He starts getting up. They say, wait, no, go, no. What's going on? They're both screaming. The wagon driver hears something going on. And they begin to tell him, shove that fall, shove, go back down. The wagon driver says, wait, Rega, hold on for a minute. Everything is okay. There was a guy just like you that wanted to come in. He was very tired. He was a sojourner. So I told him to come in. And he says, do you mind if I lie down? He said, I'm not sure that you want to lie down, but if you want to, you could. So he lied down. It was nice in there. What is it? Chacham Ovadia says, the whole year, we get a ride. It's a ride. We're riding. Olam hazeh and the Arzot HaChaim. We're riding along. And we take a ride. Sometimes it's a nice ride. Sometimes not so nice. Sometimes there's a few things in the road, but we still take the ride. Then all of a sudden it comes to be Rosh Hashanah. It comes to be the Yemei Slichot V'Rachamim. And all of a sudden, we all have Hit'orut, we all have inspiration, and we begin to get excited, and we understand that it's the time we're going to say, just in a few days, all of the Nutanat Soke and all the things that we're going to read about the day of judgment, Mi Yichye, all the things that we're going to learn, Kivakaras Ro'ayedro Mavir Tzono Tachat Shivto, that we all going under the Shevet that Hashem counts us, and all the days and all the years ahead are counted. So a person gets excited. We get nervous. We get a little bit upset. When they start saying the Vidoy, we all get a little upset. But then after a while, the Yom Noraim pass. Shav Lava. Everything be quiet. Everything is going to be good once again. Everything is going to be nice. Says Chacham Ovadia that a person has to learn from the entire idea of the Yom Noraim not to lose the inspiration, not to lose the excitement, to carry it with us from the first day of Elul through Rosh Hashanah, continuing on until way, way past Sukkot in the year. But how do we do it? So here is a suggestion. And I'd like to read to you a Rambam. It's a Rambam who codifies the laws of shofar, and it's in the first parak. B'mikdash, the Beit HaMikdash, Hayutokin b'Rosh Hashanah b'shofar echad. They used to blow the shofar, one shofar, Ushtei chatzot tzrot min hatzadin. And from either side, there was two trumpets. Okay? HaShofar ma'arich, the shofar would blow long, v'chatzot tzrot mikatzrot. But the chatzotzros, they would blow short. Shemitzvat hayom b'shofar. Because the main mitzvah is shofar. Very interesting. There it says that an individual should have a tremendous hit'orut from hearing the shofar. That they take all of the lessons that we're supposed to learn, they inspire themselves, they get excited, they understand what it is to do tshuva, they understand what I have to bear in mind that goes on during these days. Chatam Sofer writes the following, B'chatzotzros v'kol shofar horiu. B'chatzotzros, the trumpets v'kol shofar horiu, it sounded. Roshei Tevos, it has the head letters, the acronym of Busha. Busha. Embarrassment. Shame. I got to have shame. Like we say in the Vidoy, Hare ani lefonecho kichli mole busha uchlima. I'm like a vessel filled with shame and embarrassment. That's what we say by the slichot. So what does it mean? It means that in order for a person to understand that maybe we have to do teshuvah, we got to have a little bit of shame. Not a lot, but a little bit of embarrassment. If I went and I did the Averah, if I did something wrong and I never felt bad about it, so I'll never come to really doing teshuvah. I'll do a little teshuvah because I realize that it's the time of din and I have to do something, so I'll hit my heart, I will try, I'll say the vidoy, but will I feel it? Not unless a person hits the slightest bit of embarrassment. And that embarrassment is the thing that we have to work on, all of us. That we walk and Hashem watches us, no matter where we're at, no matter how hidden we are. B'chadrei chadarim, that Hashem sees us. And from that, I have to understand that there are things that I'm not proud of. Things that went on in the past, I'm not proud of. I hurried through the tefillot, I'm not proud of it one day. I said something to my mother, and maybe I shouldn't have said it. It was too harsh. And I'm not proud of that. I'm embarrassed. My mother, she gave to me birth. She woke up in the middle of the night. She gave to me the bottle. She changed me. She cared. She went without food to give me food. And now I went and I spoke against her. I spoke words that were not nice. I got to be embarrassed. This is the way that we have to go in this world. I did something that maybe was a mitzvah that I didn't put enough kavanah into. I have to be a little bit embarrassed. That's the way that we have to approach it. It will approach it in that way. So listen to this. Any person that has guilt or embarrassment, if they have busha, so it says the following. Any busha that a person has over any aveira, mochlin al kol avonotav, that the person is forgiven for all of their averot. That means not only for the aveira that I was embarrassed about, that I didn't speak to my mother nicely and I'm embarrassed about it, I'm forgiven for that. I am forgiven for all the averot that I did. Only thing that I have to do is to be embarrassed, to be a little bit shamed. I'm sorry, how did I do that? I always wondered, how does a person come to embarrassment? And in fact, it's halakha. If somebody comes in, so we know in order to touch your wine, that you'll be able to use it, it has to be someone who has emunah. It has to be someone who is shomer Shabbat. If they touch your wine, it's not mevushal, you cannot use it. However, we learn in Yoredeya that if the person would be embarrassed, if they would see an Adam Chashuv, and they would not be Mechalel Shabbat in front of him, they wouldn't do anything wrong, then you can trust it. Why? Because they have busha. They have embarrassment. They do feel for something. The only thing is, they haven't worked to be embarrassed in front of Hashem, but in front of an Adam Chashuv, they are afraid. So if they're smoking the cigarette on Leil Shabbat, Chas v'Shalom, and all of a sudden, they see you walking down the street, Adam Chashuv, and they say, whoa. They put the cigarette behind their back and they hide it. Don't worry if they touch your wine. So great is the element of busha. So great is the element of shame that they understand it. Moichlin lo al kol avonotav, that they get mechila for all of their averos, for all of them. It's an amazing thing. Furthermore, let me give one step further. Vayomer Shmuel el Shaul, Lama hirgaztani, la loisoisi. Why did you raise me up to disturb me? He was upset. He was already in the other world. So Shmuel said to Shaul, why you raised me up? Why did you do that? Shaul said to him, tzali ma'od, please, I didn't raise you up from the dead for no reason. I had a good reason. Why? Because I have big tsar. Upilishtim nelchamim bi. The Plishtim are after me. The Philishtim are getting me nervous that they may overrun me. Velokim sorme alai. And Hashem has turned away. Hashem did not answer me. Did not answer me, Od. Biyad Nevi'im, Gam b'chalomot. I tried to ask the Nevi'im, I tried to ask the prophets if I should go to war, if I'm going to win or not. I asked in Chalomos, I made all types of different pu'ulas to find out the answer. Ve'ekra lecha lo dieni ma e'aseh. I had to raise you up from the other side to know what should I do. Should I go to war? I shouldn't go to war. I have to ask. So there's a great question. Rashi says, why didn't, of course, we know Shaul HaMelech should have asked what? In order to know whether to go to war or not? Urim v'tumim. Just ask, should I go to war or not? And it will light up in the way the person will know directly from Hashem. The answer is no. He was not going to get an answer because he killed out no Ira Kohanim. Because he did something that he shouldn't have done, he was not going to be answered. So he was embarrassed to bring it up. He didn't say, I went to consult the Urim v'Tumim and they didn't answer me. I got no answer whatsoever because of his own embarrassment. That is unreal. Because of that, we learn in Shmuel Beit, Chaf Aleph Vav, there it says, Yotzta Baskol v'Amra, Bechir Hashem. He is the chosen one of Hashem. And in fact, it was given to him the answer back. Shmuel HaNavi told him, Machar ato bonecho imi. Tomorrow, you are all together with me. Amar Rabbi Yochanan imi b'mechitzati. You are together with me in my confine. Why? Because he had busha. Because he was afraid, he was ashamed. So how does a person get ashamed? It's a brazen world. It's a world that a person can say anything that they want at any time. And you're allowed to get away with anything, and people will do it in the straight. Like it says in the Mishnah, everybody knows in the times, Ikvis of the Mashiach, it says that the young people will spit in the face of the Zkenim. It says a lot of things will happen. There's no busha. Who cares? Who cares what happens today? I'll say whatever I want to whomever I want. So it's an interesting thing. I went to Miami, and there was a Rav who was in northern Florida, and he wanted that I should come to say a shiur. Beautiful. So I flew into this place, and there was a fellow picked me up. It was 3 hours until the shiur started. So he says, Rabbi, I would like to take you to the museum. I said, it's okay. I have what to do. I brought a few svarim, Baruch Hashem. I go, no, it's quick. I just want to show you it's an amazing museum. Just a little bit. I could not talk this guy out of going to the museum, no matter what. He took me to the museum, and I went. I went with him. Sure thing. It's a big, big inyan to make another Jew happy. If I'll be misameach him to go to the museum, should be a kapara. So I took him. In the museum, it's a hands-on experience. I went down, and there was an exhibit. You go in each exhibit. The first exhibit, you go in by yourself, and it's in front of a mirror. They close the door, and you stand in front of the mirror. They open the door, you go to the next one. You go around. Then after about 20 minutes, you come to the end. And at the end, on the other side, I hear, when I'm coming to the end, people are screaming with laughter. People are having the time of their lives. They cannot stop laughing. They bent over. What is it? The last room that you go to is a two-way mirror. When you look in that first room, the people went into the mirror, they can see from the other side what the people are doing. Do you know what a person does in front of the mirror? Don't let your mind go. You can't imagine. People making faces, they're doing all kinds of funny things, right? And then the other person is watching. And everybody's laughing. And I'm standing there crying. Not that I did anything in front of the mirror, but I began to think to myself, Ayin roeh, ozen shomas, v'chol ma'asecho b'sefer nichtavin. The eye sees, the ear that hears, and all of our ma'asim are written down in the Sefer. I began to think to myself how clear it is from that a person never knows. Busha. That means that sometimes I have to understand that I need to take some shame and put it into my life. I need to think about it. I need to worry about what exactly am I doing and how is it going to be perceived. How embarrassed we are. We say one word. We said something to another individual and it didn't come out right. And then I say I'm so embarrassed I won't say that word. Why? Because of busha. It is so embarrassing to us, I can't even take it. I'm too nervous about the whole thing. Interesting. Kol hamalvin pnei chavero b'rabim ki'ilu hargo. If a person embarrasses another individual in public, so we see how great is embarrassment. If we only have a little bit of embarrassment over something that we have done or over the past year, that is unbelievable because it's the key. It is the mafteach to a person having complete mechila. What else can you do immediately to get such mechila? Very few things. Let me give you one more example. We know that at the time, the Aaron was nervous to approach the Mizbeach. Aaron HaKohen was embarrassed. He was nervous to go to the Mizbeach. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, Aaron, what's going on here? Lama tabush. Why are you embarrassed? Why are you afraid that you're the Kohen? You're supposed to go to the Mizbeach. Of course you should go. Lama tabush. Why are you afraid? So the reason was, everybody knows when Aaron went, so he pictured that the Mizbeach was like an egel. He had a part in the egel hazav. Whatever he did, he had to do it, but still he had a part. When he came there, he pictured it. He saw the egel in front of him, and he recoiled. He went back. How can I do it? It's an egel. I'm reminded of my former averot. What did Moshe Rabbeinu tell him? Lekach nivcharta. Because of that, you were chosen. Why? So the Mefarshim tell us the reason is because he was embarrassed, because he saw the egel, because he remembered the old thing that he did and he was shamed over it. That is specifically why he was the one that was chosen to be the Shliach Tzibur for Bnei Yisrael. That's an unbelievable thing if a person will think about it. How an individual is able to see certain things and be able to approach it even if they're embarrassed. Now I will tell you something, an interesting thing. We should overcome that embarrassment to do mitzvot. Even if one time we were upset, even if one time we did something and we messed up in the middle. Don't be embarrassed. It's a mitzvah. You go right to it and you do it. A very interesting thing happened. Someone who's in Queens, a very big singing star. Very big singing star. I asked, and I'm going to tell you what the tzarech was. They came to me from Israel, a family of about 8 people, to the dining room. They came to my dining room. They had a special need that they wanted to tell me about. There is a girl, Lo Aleinu Ba'akol Beit Yisrael, who needs a kidney, and they brought her. They sat there, and I began to talk with them, none of them religious. And I began to tell them, we got to do something, some money had to be raised, had to be taken care of, and so forth. And I made a whole plan how to do it with all of them, with the family. And they said, thank you very much, and they were going to call me. I did not take anyone's number. They don't call me. I began to make plans, I began to do things. Nobody called me. I figured, she does need it, she doesn't need it. They came, they don't need it. I was crying there. I was crying. A young woman needs a kidney like that. A girl, not. I didn't understand it. 2 months later, I get a call. I would like to come to your house with my family. I didn't chapitz the same family. They came back, all of them, back in the dining room. And I said, but tell me, you were here. We were supposed to start right away. What happened? No. We came and we saw that you're a dati. And we knew you wouldn't help us. I wouldn't help you. I'll help anybody. I will help anybody. It does not matter to me who it is. And anyone will help anyone. There's not qualifications of who to help. However, we called the same person again, and he said, I told you to go to Goldwasser. You didn't go to Rabbi Goldwasser? Yes, we did, but he's not. So what does that have to do with it? Go back to him. And he pushed them, they should go back. I want to tell you what a Kiddush Hashem was. The girls from the Beit Yaakov took her back and forth for dialysis. The trip was 45 minutes. Because she was very tired afterwards, they got a huge car. They set up a pillow and a blanket like a bed with a sheet in the back. They constantly took her back and forth. They brought her food. They saw to her. They visited her. They did everything. Finally, there was a kidney that was available. We needed money. So I called somebody from Queens, a big star. He was not always not always religious. And I said, I would like to make a concert, and I would like you to be the person that would sing. He told me, the Rav is calling. I'll do it immediately. We set up. I didn't realize the place that they had gotten was a nightclub. Okay, a nightclub, but wasn't a nightclub on that night, Rebbe. Don't worry. It wasn't. I set up it was a nightclub. But on that night, it was only for our use. So I go. He picked me up. He came in from Queens, picked me up. And this Kochav, the star, he goes and he asked me the address. I told him the address. We get out. He sees the building. Maaseh Shahaya. He sees the building. He puts his head against the wall. I cannot go in. I said, why? He told me, I used to play in this club and it wasn't right. I'm embarrassed to go inside to this club. I said, but you have to. He said, I cannot. When I see this club, I see everything that it represents. I told him what we just learned. When Aaron HaKohen came and he saw the Mizbeach and he saw the Egel and he said, I can't do it. I can't go any further. It's impossible. It reminds me of something. Moshe Rabbeinu said, Lekach nivchata. That's the reason why you were chosen to go in. I told him, you're chosen, you go in, you're mitaken, you will rectify all the tikkun for everything that was done in the past will be tonight. He went in, and I tell you the truth, if you ever saw somebody that had to force themselves, I'm standing by the door, he had to force himself to walk in the door. Eze chozer b'tshuva. He goes in. All I can tell you, that when he sang a certain song about emunah, everybody was moved to tears. Everybody. That night, enough money was raised. The young woman got her kidney. The whole family made a Sudat Todah. They wrote about it in Yediot Achronot. They called me Chatzi Malach. I told them I'm not Chatzi, I'm Shalem. But okay. They went back, the whole family, and every once in a while, I get a regards from them. That's busha. That is when a person is able to feel the embarrassment. Another interesting example. What happened? Vayishmu es kol Hashem Elokim misalech bagan. Adam and Chava, they did a big Aveirah. They got one little mitzvah that they had to observe. Don't eat from the Eitz Hadat. One mitzvah. Everybody says, if I wouldn't be Jewish, so I only have 7 mitzvot b'nei Noah, not a problem. It would be a cinch. You'll find me some people that are able to watch this Sheva mitzvot b'nei Noah, and I'll tell you, it's not so simple to find. Okay, so one mitzvah, and unfortunately they didn't do it. So what happened? So they heard Hashem coming in the gan. He was walking. They heard him approaching. Vayitchabei Adam v'ishto mibnei Hashem Elokim. Adam and Chava, they went to hide. They went down, hide, ear raid. They hide underneath the table. They're hiding from Hashem. Oh, no good. Rabbeinu Bechaya said, what was it? It was they had great busha. They had great embarrassment. Shizeu ikar, that is the main idea of the tshuva, habusha min achet. Rabbeinu Bechaya says, the fact that they went and they were embarrassed, that in itself was tshuva. Did you ever wonder why they were able to live? Did you ever wonder what happened with them? That even Cain did teshuvah? That's what happens when a person is able to gain a little bit of inspiration to be embarrassed. And what was it? Hashem made for them. Remember, from the leaves, they were able to cover themselves because they realized that they were without clothing. So why was it from the tree? So the Mefarshim say because the tikkun came in rectifying the sin, in being mitaken the avera. The way to do it was by using the leaves from that tree, which would now mean that they would have the tikkun for what they did wrong. This is something that if a person realizes the depth of what busha is, if they realize the depth of all the things that Hashem wishes us to understand about our lives in this world, then it is on a much, much different level. I was a bocher in yeshiva in East Flatbush. And I remember there used to be a guy that would come in every day. I would say his name, but I'll say his name, Haimi, Zochor Latov. He used to come in, a shopping bag guy, whatever, a man from the streets, an older man. And there would be a kuppah, there would be a pushka on the wall from Rabbi Meir Balanes. He would come in the middle of the Seder. Everybody would be learning nicely, we're all learning. And he would come in with some coins. All of a sudden, he would start to shake, and he would start to tremble, and he would start yelling tefillot, and everybody would begin laughing every day because he was putting the money in. He disturbed the whole Seder, and everybody, it was like a matinee. Everybody was laughing in the afternoon because he was putting on this whole thing. He meant it. He meant it. One day, there was a Rav that came in from nearby. He came in to pray mincha, and afterwards he stayed to learn. He saw this Haimi come in and start with staka and shaking and yelling, and he saw the guys laughing. After Haimi left, he came up and he clapped. He said, you know, it's interesting. We're laughing at him right now. After 120 years, we'll go up to Shamayim in Gan Eden, and we'll stand between all the great tzaddikim and Noshim Tzidkaniyot, and who knows who will be laughing at who at that point. Our life in this world is to help to understand each of us. What does it mean? What does it mean that a person should be able to hold their head high? When somebody says, Oshamnu, Bogadnu, Gozalnu, and they mean it. I don't mean Gozalnu, he probably stole. I never stole anything. Dibarnu Dofi, I never said a word. Who said anything? Kizavnu, you think I'm a deceitful person? Latznu, I'm the serious person in the world. I never tell jokes. There are people, I guess, like it's a unified vidoy for everybody, so I have to be mitvadeh for other people. And myself, I'm only maybe one of the things there. The other things, none of it. Says Chaye Adam, Oshamnu. Not only I got to worry about the Oshamnu, but every Aveira that starts with an Aleph. Internet, no, not internet, whatever. Oshamnu, Bogadnu, Gozalnu. All the Aveirot that start with a Gimel, with a Dalet, with a Hey. I don't even want to think about it. But Boishnu, we are embarrassed. When I see that, I get embarrassed. When I see that, I shake because I'm ashamed. I know I did something. I'm not going to say I didn't do anything. I did do it. Who am I going to say I didn't do it? It's a big mitzvah to say that we did do it. You know Adam? They caught Adam, right? He did Aveirah. So Hashem said, Adam, you ate from the Eitz Hadat. You know what he said? Achalti, I ate. V'oichalod, I'm going to eat more. He says, I ate and I'm going to eat more. I did the Aveirah, I'm going to do it again. So you know what it's like? I don't know if they had this when you were in school. They used to have a truant officer. If you cut school, right? You ditch school and you're in the pizza shop or somewhere. So the officer came and said, young man, where are you from? Which school? He had to say, okay, come with me. You got into trouble, right? So what if the truant officer comes there, he sees him in a pizza shop, and he says, okay, Yosef, tell me, what are you doing there? So he says, officer, I tell you the truth, I'm cutting school right now, and next Wednesday I'm going to cut school again. How could he do such a thing? It's an impossibility. But it says that Borei Olam loved what he said, that Hashem loved what he said. So how could it be? You know the reason? Because Adam knew himself. He confessed, and he said, I know that I might do it again. That is the yesod in teshuvah. I know that I did an Aveirah, I know that I did something wrong, and I'm afraid that I may repeat it. That is something that's beautiful. That is something when a person can admit that they did something wrong. We also say, Boshnu mikolam. We are embarrassed from every nation. So the great Manchester Rosh Yeshiva of Segel, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, asked a question. What does it mean, Boshnu mikolam? We're worse than any nation? We're not worse. We're not, maybe the nations don't like us, but we're not worse. Am Yisrael. Mika Amcha Yisrael Goyachad Ba'aretz. Who is like Klal Yisrael? Where is there such chesed? Where is there such learning? Where is there such care about the world? Where are there such loyal citizens? Where are there people that worry about Hashem? Where are there people that worry about mankind and humankind and establishing truth and justice and everything? Where's there people like Klal Yisrael? Where's there people that are so downtrodden with all the current situations and politically and so forth and sanctions against Eretz Yisrael, Chas v'Shalom? Where is there a nation like Klal Yisrael? There isn't any. None could compare. But we say Boshnu mikolam. So what the Manchester Rosh Yeshiva said is that sometimes a person picks up things from the outside world. And from the outside world, we have to be embarrassed. Boshnu mikolam. I pick up a little bit over here, I pick up a little bit over there, and in the meantime, I get a little bit nervous because maybe it is worn off on me, the outside world. The beauty of Torah anytime, is that it gets to every place in the world, and it is able to offset Boshnu mikolam. Because people around the world, they could see all kinds of things on the internet, all kinds of things. Eitz hadas toiv v'ra. But what do they watch? They watch shiurim. They watch every kind of shiurim, on every possible inyan, on every yom tov, on every mitzvah, on every possible inyan and hashkafa. That's an unreal thing. So we don't have to say Boshnu mikolam, because they save us from that. It's a difficult thing for us to know, but even in the way that a person may know that perhaps I could be better, if we listen to people around the world and we take from them and we realize what people go through, certain hardships, then we feel a lot different about our own avodah. I would like to give you just two examples, just two very simple examples. There is a person that I saw, he was learning in the Beit Midrash. He was learning. So I walked over to him, and he said to me, could I ask you some words that I don't understand? I said, sure. Could you tell me this word? He asked me a word in the Mishnah, and I told him what it means. He said, could you tell me this word? And I told him that. I came back in the same Beit Midrash 7 hours later, and the guy was sitting there. As soon as I came, he says, I don't want to bother you, Rabbi. And he meant it. I felt so bad. But could I ask you another couple words? What was that word? Then he writes it down. It's that word. I said, I'm sorry. Could you tell me, were you here since I came in the afternoon? He says, yes. I said, you stayed here all the time? He said, was it okay? I said, it was okay. You're holding up the world. I said, okay. The world is on your shoulders. And I thought to myself, he has a problem with translating a few words in a Mishnah. And he sits for 7 hours uninterrupted. Goldwasser, hold on for a second. Tzadiko, did you sit 7 hours? Maybe you could touch the whole thing up. Maybe you know the whole Mishnah. Maybe you know the whole Gemara. Did you sit 7 hours? No. It's a busha. I understand it. I know what they're going through. That's an unbelievable thing. It's mechayev us. It obligates us. There's a woman that comes to me Shabbat morning, before davening, before tefillah. She said, I have a question for you. I want to know if I did something wrong, if I have to do teshuvah. I said, you don't have to tell me what you did. You say vidoy to Hashem, you don't have to tell me. No, I have to say it. She said, I know I'm not doing something right, and I'm embarrassed about it. This is an older woman. I said, okay. She said, before I come in to tefillah, I do the whole thing in Lashon HaKodesh. I pray the whole thing in Hebrew. When I come in to pray together with everybody, I do it in English because I don't understand the Hebrew. Am I doing an Aveirah? I say to myself, who can even imagine? This woman, she's actually davening twice. Sometimes, it comes on Kippur, and you start looking through the Machzor, how many pages left in it? And this lady is davening twice, 2 tefillot. That's the whole thing. Shachrit, Musaf, everything, twice. And she's asking me, it's an Aveirah. I took my siddur that morning. I promise you, I prayed like I never prayed before. I davened like I never. This is what she did. This is unreal. One more I must tell you, how you could become embarrassed. They invited me. There is an international organization for people that do not have the gift of hearing, to hear. They invited me to be the speaker. And I came. There were many people, not a lot of them, but many that were religious. Many others came from around the world for various questions, various chizuk that they needed, all types of things they came for. Everybody had their own reasons. And I was to give a shiur to everyone, together with an interpreter, and all the people were supposed to come. It's a few minutes before, 1,000 people walking around. A few minutes before my shiur, the head of the convention says, excuse me, Rabbi Goldwasser? I said, yes. She says, I'm sorry to tell you, this evening we have an advocate for the deaf community in Washington. This man advocates for the needs of the deaf. He is a very important speaker, and everyone will want to hear him. Unfortunately, Rabbi, we had no choice, but we had to schedule him the same time as you. So please forgive us. It's very important, I know, because you're a big rabbi. You'll understand, right? You'll understand, and you'll be okay. I said, fine. They gave to me a little room. They gave the advocate a huge room in a convention hall. Huge. It's a hotel. Magnificent. I'm there, and the interpreter's standing there. They give me a nice podium, and there were 5 people in the room. Okay, it's not the comments, it's the eiches, it's quality, not quantity. I said, figure good, excellent. We have already a mezuman, we could say Birkat HaMazon, not a problem. Minyan we don't got, but we got that. All of a sudden, a few more people came. Then a few more people came. Then a group came. Then another group. They changed my room so people didn't know where I was. The good head of the convention didn't bother to tell him where the shiur was. Then they began to find out. There were so many people that crowded into the room. I cannot tell you what a Kiddush Hashem is. The head of the convention came back in. Vayovoy. I got nervous when I saw him. He said, Rabbi, I was afraid what he was going to tell me next. He said, there's a little difficulty with the room. It doesn't look like it's big enough, so we want to switch it to a different room. Went to a different room, filled up from front to the back. Filled. People came to learn Torah. Not me. They came to learn Torah. People from all over the world, from France and from Italy, from everywhere. They came in just to learn. From Israel, all over. I gave the shiur, and I'm ready to start. It's beautiful. Giant men and women. It's unreal. However, as I began, there were 2 women that were sitting in the front. And the 2 women are playing some kind of a game, like this. I don't mind if somebody reads you have a sefer or a book. I don't mind if people knit in the middle of the shir. I don't mind whatever people, doesn't matter. But this kind of a thing I can't take. It was too much. So, you don't need to have a PhD in psychology. When you try to ignore something, you zero in right on them, right? I tried to ignore it. And es chata'ai ani masker hayom. I couldn't ignore it. And I got then I tried to turn a little bit like this way, not to look at them. And they're going like this, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, I said, Borei Olam, I got a challenge here. Please, it's a nisayon. I prayed this morning, Loli de nisayon, and Hashem, you gave me nisayon. Help me, be mitgaber. Help me that I should be strong. So, Hashem helped me. I gave the shiur. It was the most incredible thing. And the interpreter kept saying, please, Rabbi, slow down. You're talking too fast. Please, little. And the people, it was unreal. They're asking at several times, they were able to ask questions. At the end, everybody was able to come up. Whoever wanted to ask a question, a she'elah, a itzah, they were able to walk up. And a lot of people ask unbelievable questions. What do they do for shofar on Rosh Hashanah? How do they yotzei the mitzvah? Another person asked me, I think they came from France, and they don't have possibilities for shidduchim. What would I suggest that they should do to facilitate shidduchim for them? Another person asked me a question that in their local community, there's a very good school for the children that are hearing impaired, lo aleinu. However, the problem is that there's no Judaism for them. Is it worthwhile to move to the United States or a different country where there is a school and uproot the children from their school and have to learn a new language, all kind of things. And the people waiting in line. At the end of the line, I see the two women. The one like this. I see the two women. So I figured, Eis lasot laHashem. I'm going to have what to say to these people. You got to say it the right time. Hocheach tochiach. Esa misecho. You got to know when to give musar. I see them coming up. Everybody else is gone. And then I see that the older woman has her hand on the arm of the younger girl. And she's walking, and the older woman is looking straight ahead with her eyes closed. Busha. They come and stand in front of me. The younger girl said, Rabbi, we came to ask you a few questions. We missed a couple of things in the shir. You see, my mother is not only deaf, but she is also blind. And the way that I have of talking to her is by signing on her hand. We weren't able to get everything, and we have a few questions that we would like to ask you. He said, Pusha. These people, their level in Avodas Hashem. And I, at that moment, looking at these giants, Anakim, I felt like I was on the ground. I felt like, how could I even stand there to talk to such people? To talk to such people that are standing Berumo Shalom, how high they are in the world. And I answered their questions, and we went back and forth, and I cannot tell you, they asked me I should give to them a bracha. When they asked me for bracha, then I lost it. I have to tell you the truth. I could not hold it all together. I lost my composure. The only way I could gain it back is I said, I will give you a bracha if first you'll give to me a bracha. They both blessed me. I made them both, the girl as well. I walked out, CBS, TV or whoever they are, were there about this incredible convention. Rabbi, please come. The head of the convention, please come. Could you please be interviewed? After I went through that experience, that Kiddush Hashem of a mother and her daughter who does not see and does not hear, the only thing I could do was held up my hands to them and said, I'm sorry. After what I just experienced, I don't have any words left. And I left. We in Klal Yisrael, we have such a zechut. We got unbelievable merits, all of us, every one of us, everyone here in the Keilah Sharei Tovah with their illustrious Rav, and everyone in the whole Klal Yisrael, wherever you're going to view this, South Africa and Australia and London and Switzerland and California and Mexico City, and I don't know if there are any Yidden left in Syria or Sarajevo or Morocco or Iran or Persia or Tashkent. It doesn't matter where. Mi ka'amcha Yisrael goyachad ba'aretz. Let us have a little bit of busha, a little bit of shame, and let us have a lot of pride as we go forward to the Yomim Noroim. And we should all be blessed with bracha v'atzlacha, with blessing and success in Ruchnius and in Gashmius. We should have arichas yamim v'shanim tovos. We should have parnosa mitzuya berevach. All the children should go in the right derech. Shalom bayis, shiduchim b'surot tovot. Everybody in Klal Yisrael should have everything that they want. Shalom in Eretz Yisrael. And Bez Hashem, we should hear this year the Pamei Mashiach Tzidkenu Bimhera V'Yomeinu. Amen.